This happened to me back in 2019, when I was living alone in a small one-bedroom apartment. It wasn't the nicest place, but the rent was cheap, and at the time, that's all I cared about. The building itself was old, the kind of place where the pipes make random noises at night, and the walls creak for no reason. I got used to it pretty quickly, and honestly, I never thought of it as scary. But one night changed that. It was a Thursday. I had just gotten home from work around midnight. Too tired to cook, so I heated up some leftovers, ate, and went straight to bed. Around 2 in the morning, I woke up to the sound of my phone buzzing. It was just a notification, nothing important. I rolled over to go back to sleep. That's when I noticed something. My bedroom door, which I always kept closed, was slightly open. Just enough that I could see into the hallway. At first, I thought maybe I hadn't shut it all the way, but the more I stared at that dark gap, the more unsettled I felt. Then I saw movement. It was subtle, like the shape of someone slowly stepping back out of view. I froze, staring at the crack in the door, my heart pounding in my chest. I tried to convince myself it was my eyes playing tricks on me, but deep down, I knew I had shut that door. I grabbed my phone and quietly turned on the flashlight. The bright beam cut through the darkness of the hallway. It was empty. No one was there. I got out of bed, walked into the hallway, checked the kitchen, the bathroom, even the closet. Nothing. I locked the front door again just to be sure and went back to bed, though it took me a while to fall asleep. Around 4 a.m., I woke up again, this time to the sound of footsteps. They weren't above me or below me like a neighbor. They were inside my apartment. Slow, careful footsteps moving from the living room toward the hallway. I sat up in bed, completely frozen. I could hear the steps getting closer, one by one, until they stopped, right outside my bedroom door. I held my breath, waiting. Then the doorknob began to turn. Very slowly, it rotated back and forth, like someone was testing how quietly they could open it. I wanted to scream, but nothing came out. All I could do was clutch my phone, ready to call 911. And then, the sound stopped. The handle went still. For the next hour, I stayed awake in bed, staring at the door, too terrified to move. Eventually, exhaustion won, and I must have drifted off. When I woke up later that morning, the door was shut again. Completely shut. The way I always left it. At first, I thought maybe I had dreamed the whole thing. But when I walked into the living room, I noticed something that made my blood run cold. The chain lock on my front door, the one I always latched from the inside, was undone, hanging loosely against the door frame. Someone had been inside. To this day, I don't know who it was or how they got in. But I moved out of that apartment within the week, and I'll never forget the sound of those footsteps moving through the darkness.